I don't think there's much to celebrate. We are paralysed in Parliament, not just within the Conservative Party, but generally, because the realisation is dawning that there is no form of Brexit which is going to be of advantage to our country. Now, the only people who think that that's not the case are some of my ERG colleagues, which is why they're willing to contemplate a no-deal Brexit. But there's a vast majority of members of Parliament who think a no-deal Brexit would be disastrous for us. And as a consequence, there's no doubt that things are getting more tense. And we've got to try to find a way through this crisis. In my view, the Prime Minister should be doing two things. She should be firstly seeking an extension to Article 50, because we're clearly going to need more time to debate options. And secondly, something I've long believed, I think we're going to have to go back to the public and ask the public what it is they want. We can offer them some forms of Brexit. They may not be forms of Brexit that I want, but nevertheless, if that is what they want, we can give it to them. Equally, if people wish to change their views and wish to remain in the EU, it is still possible to do that. And I think we should be thinking very carefully along those lines if we want to find a way through this.
Do you think it is likely that there could be a second referendum? Because it seems as though it's less likely than ever. And a lot of people saying, you know what, it may just continue to drag this out, this period of uncertainty.
I disagree. I think that the possibility of a second referendum has always been there. It's apparently Labour Party policy, but it would be nice if Jeremy Corbyn were to actually speak out for one rather than prevaricating over it. And it offers a potential solution. None of the other things at the moment appear to offer a solution at all. And that's what troubles me. Clearly, if there was a coming together of the House of Commons around a particular form of Brexit, then we can exit on that particular form. But everything I've seen in the last few months suggests that for perfectly valid reasons, opinion in the House is deeply divided because most MPs look at Brexit and see that, in fact, leaving is going to be greatly to our disadvantage. So to agree something which you know is going to do the country damage is very difficult. As I say, my ERG colleagues are the exception to that. They are enthusiastic about leaving, and they appear to be entirely untroubled about all the potential consequences that most people believe will flow from a no-deal departure, which I think will be chaos and real damage to our country's economic future and well-being. And I'm just not prepared to go there under any circumstances.
I mean, we've just had one of your ERG colleagues on the programme, Sir Bernard Jenkins, and he said that this is actually down to the fact that 3/4 of MPs have always been Remainers, remain Remainers, and just can't get over the results of the referendum.
That is a perfectly reasonable comment. But what he is asking those 3/4 of MPs to do is to abandon their conscience, their judgment and their views, and to sign up to something which they believe will be disastrous for their constituents. It's just not going to happen.
And yet, whilst all this arguing is going on, and it seems, as you say, to coin a phrase, we're struggling to square a circle, it looks, doesn't it, as though no deal is becoming increasingly likely. 42 days to go, and that's very clearly in our sights now.
Well, that's why I think the Prime Minister should be taking steps to extend the Article 50 period. Now, there's an opportunity for her to do this, but if she doesn't do it, then, as was explained by my colleague Sir Oliver Letwin in the debate yesterday, the House of Commons is going to have to take action to try to ensure that an extension can be secured, because so many of us take the view that leaving without a deal would be uniquely damaging to our country.
And is there any deal that you would accept? I mean, how would you feel about being part of this customs union? As Jeremy Corbyn has said, you know, could you tolerate that, or would you see that as a sort of soft Brexit and therefore pointless, as Tony Blair has argued?
There are a series of possible ways in which we could leave the EU, but I have to say I've also taken the fundamental view a long time ago that they should be put to the electorate. I mean, one of the problems we have is that the debate we had in 2016 bears very little relationship to the realities that we are now facing. And it's the fact that that's the case which makes me so clear in my mind that we should go back and ask the public. If the public want to leave on a Norway basis, if they want to leave on the Prime Minister's deal, which may well be the best deal on offer, and the only deal, then so be it, I will accept it. But to sign something off which has become increasingly clear is going to do our country harm, it's difficult as a matter of conscience for any member of Parliament to do such a thing.